Hello everyone, this is Tarane and this is my Procreate panels for animation, y'all. Welcome to my YouTube and let's go. So this panels that I've done for animation, y'all, was in 2 days. One was the Procreate and one was the Procreate Dreams, but I kind of merged it all together in a little bit more simplified ways and shorter ways to explain it to you guys here. It's just about sharing my work and my workflow and how I use Procreate to bring my stories to life, and I'm hoping it inspires you to do the same. I I'm Iranian, so I lived in Iran for 30 years. I learned everything there. I went to university and studied graphic design, Bachelor of Graphic Design, and after that I started to work more in the motion graphic industry and advertising. And little by little, when I found a tablet, I started drawing, and that kind of changed an entire direction of my career unexpectedly to where after I immigrated to the Netherlands and 10 years ago almost. I had a chance to work with such amazing companies. As a self-trained artist, I was always proud to make it this far, to be able to uh, be recognized by amazing directors in great companies like Disney, like Netflix, like Lorcana. And I've done a lot of workshops at playgrounds and Duolingo and Animation Y'all for Procreate. So I just love to share and give back to community, and I was lucky enough to participate in amazing projects. A little bit about my background is that this is where I'm from. So when I say I'm from Iran, there is just this generic image, which is not true for everyone. So everybody lives in different regions and it's a big country. I'm from North, which is kind of surrounded by mountains and the beach, and it's a very greenish, rainy environment, and it's like living in fairy tales. You have a lot of nature and just there's so much beauty in there, and you grow up with good food around great people. In Iran, when people mostly want to party, they come to the north, so we're really cool to hang out with. We know how to have fun. It's a lot of just partying and gathering, and we care so much about communities and families. And if you see in my work, you can trace those elements as well, that I just love the magic of the nature and just being me being this little creature in that big, big world of magic. You can also see I share a lot of work about the memories I have from there. I love the people, I love the culture. So many good memories from there that it's just fun to share with the world. I started, yeah, from the wall. Apparently, my mom has a lot of stories of me drawing in the wall, and then, yeah, just never stopped and studied graphic design. I worked in the entertainment industry. I haven't had any other sort of job, so I just went directly being a graphic designer and just started my career from there. I migrated, I think, 3 times or even four. So I was at North. I have to move to the capital, which is Tehran, to study and to work. And I lived there also for 10 years. And then I moved to the Netherlands. And then after 7 or 8 years, I moved to Spain and then to the US. And yeah, and I love helping the art community and just to give back. And I love people. So traveling around the world kind of helped me a lot with learning about people, learning about the culture, how is the job market, what is the working culture. So a lot of those experiences helped me to create my brand and just to know what's required everywhere. And definitely, there's so many differences in so many ways that people work in different part of the world, which is great to know and great to learn. What I love doing is a lot of things, so I wouldn't just box myself in like character design or concept art. I just tried a lot of different things that I'm interested in, and my taste just changes with time. I just find something interesting and I try to learn a little bit about it. So I never kind of stopped that spirit of just exploring and learning. So yeah, experienced a lot of projects that I've done in games, animations. I created books, I designed toys. In general, I'm very interested in music and singing. So when I had my games released, I created an entire album with a friend, and I had one or two tracks in there that I'm singing. I worked on films and titles, like film titles and movie titles, and I worked on as an influencer, as a teacher, as a writer. Yeah, just so many things. And I love all of it. So the first project that kind of officially made me an independent artist was the game that I founded. Interesting to develop. So I always wanted to do some personal stories, but I wasn't sure if it's going to be a book or a little project. But when we hit the economical crisis and we were banned to have any sort of relationship with the world in terms of like a business relationship, it's around 10 years ago, and it all went downhill, then I thought I don't want to wait for anybody to give me permission to do what I do. So I started to create this concept with a team, and we funded with Kickstarter, and we started building it, and took 3.5 years, I think, until we could release it on Steam. This is mostly an art game. I wouldn't call it like a hardcore puzzle game. It's like an experience that you go through animated illustrations and music and solve some puzzle and just go through a very short, heartful story. I've done a lot of work in games and interactive art. So I've done UI. I worked as a UI artist. I worked in animations in games. I worked in mobile games, card games, and mostly casual games. And I worked in creating cinematics and for animations and storyboards, props, colors. I created my own children books and self-published it because I wanted to have something for my son to know more about our tradition. So it's mostly Iranian tradition focused. And I'm developing an educational app now. I'm hoping it could help with a lot of Iranians around the world to teach language to our kids. And because we don't have anything like Duolingo for kids that teaches Farsi. So I wanted to try maybe Farsi, Spanish, and English just to see how we can just teach kids through apps with fun words and animations. I worked on a few short animation pitches about different stories that comes from my culture, like this one that is like the original Tangled, that it was from a Persian story from a long time ago. As you see in the pictures, about a girl with long black hair and has some sort of similar elements that everybody might know from Rapunzel's story, but it is different because she's sort of the mother of our Hercules, which name of it is Rosta. So it's a different tale, but I think I would love for the world to know about it. I also do a lot of workshops and trainings and tutorials, which is one of my favorite part in my career to give back to the community. I don't know if you guys heard the scream, but sorry about that. Yeah, it's just a lot of great experience meeting people and teaching and learning at the same time. So, what brought me my dream opportunities? I know a lot of artists ask that question. So many artists are working for years and they're waiting to have that momentum. And for me, was mostly social media and personal branding. Me sharing my stories and my authentic self and what I enjoy doing on social media. So, the personal branding for me, you can teach it to someone or you can watch some videos and learn some tips and tricks, but it needs time. So, you cannot escape that part. Definitely. You have to make a lot of mistakes and you find your niche and you start building up. Yeah, and then from there you learn so much, and then every steps you make, even the ones that you fail, is gonna help you move forward. So that's the part for me that is very interesting about personal branding is to bring the energy that I carry. So most of the time I couldn't travel and I was just kind of trapped in like international borders. So how could I share with people the kind of energy that I can bring without even meeting them? So that was important for me to share in my yeah, social media. So, so this project I started, I'm going to explain a little bit more that I was learning and like advancing Blender and Procreate and Dreams all together. Wanted to create a mixed project, and then as a personal project, I just wanted to share on social media, and that's the part of the personal branding that I'm sharing with people that I'm open to learn and open to advance my work. And there are other parts that I love colors and I love storytelling through emotions, and people can see it through my work. And also, I love just personal, funny stories about life and just being humorous. And I think that that whole package is sort of creates an image that I like people to know me with all those elements combined. And of course, social media, which was the only way for me to cross borders without actually crossing it physically. But I got so many people interested in my work, and I found a lot of great artists and mentors, and kind of felt like I am free internationally to connect with anyone I want. And years of work kind of paid off in terms of me being able to find, you know, the people that I like to work with, being seen by amazing directors, land dream jobs, and all that was honestly only and only through my social media. So, for example, this work that I've done in Procreate is a little comic about AI and how I was mad about hearing this story over and over again that us artists are being betrayed in every era of time with all these comments and how much we bring to the universe and to the culture. So I created this like pretty much in an hour. I had this idea for a while and I drew it like in an hour. As you can see, there's a lot of copy paste. And that got like 1 million view on Instagram. It's not animated, it's just 4 images. And that kind of showed me the power of storytelling and sharing my vision with everyone. And of course, just creating an independent brand that these sort of stories that I cannot share if I'm working for another company or I'm just focusing on developing other people's work or brand. So I thought that's very important for me to create as an independent artist and treat my Instagram as an art gallery that I can just upload whenever I want for free. It used to be for free, but now it's not because they're just copying and stealing our work. But anyways, it was a great experience for me through time since the beginning. And I also do a lot of self-promotion through art events like Mermaid, Inktober, Plain April. The Draw or Die is not happening anymore, I think. But for example, I've done Mermaid for 10 years. Like since I was in Iran, I was doing mermaids. And it's interesting to know that these mermaids that I've done a few years ago got the job I had for Netflix because they sent me these as references, which they wanted to develop a similar feeling character. And the rest of the work that I've done, like the Procreate Dreams that for Plain April, I animated the scene from the Netherlands, the Inktober that I animated in Procreate Dreams, and the 3D that I participated in the 3D school. They're all brought me yeah, a lot of opportunities at the same time, although I did it just to learn and just to share. And another thing that I loved about Procreate was how it kind of saved my career, my personal creative side, because after becoming a mom, I really didn't have much time to just go to my studio. I barely even had a studio. It was just a pile of laundry on my laptop for years. And yeah, and then but having the tablet and the Procreate and Procreate Dreams, I could just sit on the couch and just create. Even for like 5 minutes, I could just do a thumbnail, or I could just, as you saw, like a simple sketch if I have something in mind. And I call these couch potatoes animations because I just had like some little spark of an idea, and I just sit there for a few nights. Usually I work at nights. That's when I'm free, when I'm like a full-time mom, and I can create this just from my couch, just sitting with my iPad, and that's, I think, it's magic. When I was traveling for last year, we moved from Spain to the US, and we had a lot of like ups and downs until everything settled. I was able to finish two books in Procreate and publish it on Amazon. And I didn't have any laptop or a desktop. We were kind of nomads, just moving around until we find our place. So it was amazing to have this ability. For Inktober, I also created a whole project, planned something that I wanted to do for a long time, to just appreciate artists, to just appreciate the creatives. And since especially the age of AI, which I think we're not truly appreciating the impact artists have on the human history. So this project was close to my heart, and when I shared it, I got great feedback as well. I could do tutorials. I could create, yeah, tutorials and animations. And the fun part about it, that when you just draw and Procreate, you can just export a time-lapse video without even doing any, pressing any record or anything. There's no record button. It just records your process. So I could just put some music on this and just share it on my YouTube or my Instagram as part of my process without even trying to go through an entire just process of editing and all that and recording. So that was also one of the magical part about Procreate. I created my pitch ideas in Procreate, whether it was just more rendering or just sketching. Yeah, as I mentioned, I created a thumbnail. So when I didn't have time, I just do quick thumbnails. Or a little fun project like this, I wanted to have some sort of not very story driven, but just to create some sense of fun, character just walking through a journey. Or this fan art that I did on Procreate, which was from the Bridgerton, which got a lot of feedback, and people loved it so much, and was seen by even the creators of the show and the writers, which was for me a very exciting event to get feedback from the people who actually created the show. And then within that, I create a personal collection, and it was just fun for me to sit down and have like my own moment and just practice or recreate an image or even a project. And I think with all that, my process mostly what you see on my social media is done on Procreate or Dreams, which is the most handy app I have ever used, and the most handy setup, the user-friendly setup. And as you can see, it's just design and painting, and then lighting, which I use the actual movie scene as a light source. I think there it is. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, and just having fun with it. I'm honestly not looking for doing something complicated, because as you can see, my art is not like just super high quality render. It's just mostly quick brushes and quick messy brushes, which that's like my style and I like, but I still will make sure that I get some sort of appeal to my work, and that it's just nice to look at and it's fun to do, that I'll be proud of the result that uh, I have. So that was mostly for my Procreate panel. And then I had another one to show more of my workflow in Procreate Dreams. So yeah, a little bit more about what I used to create in Procreate before Dreams. So I wanted to just tell stories, as I mentioned, setting up the drawing and the design, and then creating the blocks and yeah, just painted the colors and add lightings. And I even tried to, play around with the style, like different brushes, different way of executing. I also like this sort of sketchy feeling of a concept. So it is possible with Procreate to create a variety of styles with what they offer already as a default to tell my stories that way. Also very, very handy to study. So before Procreate and having an iPad that I could just take anywhere to the cafe or to work or anywhere with me, it was not easy to find time to study as much because I would work behind computer and then I couldn't just do it anymore. But with iPad, I had this, and Procreate, I had this ability to just have it with me around the city and just practice. So after a while, Procreate added this feature to animate in Procreate. Of course, it's not as advanced as Procreate Dreams, but for me, it was super fun because I'm a concept artist and I love my images to move a bit, it's just to make them feel alive. So I tried with some of the features that they have to create all these work. And of course, when the Dreams was announced, it was a dream come true for me because I loved learning about animation and I'm not an animator. So now I have that easy setup to animate traditionally and to practice and to learn. And that kind of opened a whole new door for me to learn. This is the first project I've ever done. Yeah. So I opened the app and this is what I created. So if you can create this, there's hope. You can do more. So I just wanted to show a little bit of the embarrassing parts. It all starts messy. It starts with you have no idea what you're doing. And then little by little, I studied the tutorials and just practiced and practiced. So that if I had like an online course that was animation, I tried to create a whole scene and add lighting and make it all pretty and to share it as an artwork while I was actually studying animation. And also here, I was trying to recreate my scenes like more alive and see how can I create the camera pan or perspective and some fun effects with dreams. And that led me to pick up a bigger project, which I was doing the course in animation, traditional animation. And I thought, okay, maybe I can go a little bit further with my project. It's because it was mostly a 1, 2, 3 second loop. And I wanted to add a little bit more of layers and story to it, but not that deep. I didn't want to just create a whole narrative of storytelling. I just wanted to create a nice, cozy loop animation that somehow tells some sort of story of this character that is on a journey. She's on the journey, and yeah, that's it. Nothing too big, but fun to do. It started from a lot of messy thumbnails, and I had to simplify it so much because at first I was like, what if she does this and then she feels like this? But with the scale of the project, I want it to be doable within my schedule. So I had like 2 months to finish this project. I made this with Procreate Dreams. They have great features. You can do this in Procreate Dreams. So yeah, so this is how I started my timing. I wanted to see what I expect seeing on the screen. And as you can see, I executed later, but this is how simple I started. Then I started again developing the character, designing it, see what kind of face is appealing for me to have, and the anatomy and the posing and everything. And then I started doing the rough and I colored it all in iPad and Dreams. And sometimes, yeah, I would share my process on Instagram that it gets a lot of feedback. As you can see, I'm sitting on a balcony and doing it. So it wasn't all behind the desk, but that's the fun part about Procreate, I think. And then I added some color direction. It's not the final one because as you can see here, I actually changed it a lot during the process of creating it. And that's also the fun part for me for a personal project, that you're not really limited to the direction you create. You can still go beyond it and make it even better. So I was just trying to have fun with all the ideas that I have and just push it and develop it further. And of course, having my character in the foreground to make sure the background works so the character is visible. And one of the good features that the Dream has is that you can blend colors to the layers. So even though my character original colors are warm, I could still blend a cold blue layer here on it, and it will kind of create like a blue shading on top or blue tone, and it just looks more cohesive. It makes it the character looks like it belongs to this environment, which that's magical because you can have just one palette and just change it with blending layers in every different environment. So if you next time see the same work, just look around at the character overall lighting and tone is changing with each environment, which is very nice. And also you can blend rim lights. So the rim lights are usually some sort of color blends, which makes it a lot more like sharp, and it's helping so much with creating that crisp feeling of having a rim light on a character. Another projects I picked up with the Dreams was for Inktober, which I planned it, I think, a month ahead, and I usually spend a lot of time planning these artworks and creating these projects. And I look at it as a personal project that I'm going to add to my portfolio because, first, with all these events, you have a chance to be seen because of the hashtag amount of people that try to support these events. And also, it's just a limited amount of time that you can plan ahead and just create a personal project. So I try to do at least one or two personal projects every year that sort of to learn, to elevate my skill, and also to share whatever story I want to share. So with this one, which we watched it, I think, before early in the presentation, is mostly about, yeah, just admiring art through human and just creating and just a simple little fun project that I wanted to do. And it had great feedback, and I really enjoyed working on it for the whole month. I think I worked on it more than a month, but usually I don't have more than an hour a day to work on it. And here is when I started creating the characters, and then I had a little very rough animatics, and then I started animating them. So I think every night I would just spend like an hour, and these might not be more than 10 or 11 frames. It's just a really short loop animation. So as you can see here, I have my tablet, my drink, and my baby monitor. And I'm just sitting on the couch and just creating these animations every night. And eventually, when I had all of them, I created a combination and added this color, this moving ink through the entire animation, which when I posted it, it had a huge impact. I was asked to share this in exhibitions and events. I had a lot of people reaching out to me, thanking me to create this because it gave them some sort of sense of appreciation as an artist. And I had also developed, yeah, I gained a lot of followers and a lot of feedback online. So, another project I did, which I explained earlier in the presentation, was a personal project that I really missed Netherlands after I moved to Spain. And I was trying to learn Blender at the same time, and I thought, how can I mix everything to make it more fun? And this is the project that I created. It's just a simple, very simple personal project, like an Instagram post. And it started with a sketch. I loved the bridges in the Netherlands, Amsterdam, and then I had all those golden colors that you could see in golden time there. And then I created a really rough Dreams animation of this character playing guitar or ukulele. And then I started with learning blenders. I started to create this little part of the city with all the textures and like the artistic watercolory textures and Blender, and then I exported it and then I color corrected it and I brought the background into Dreams and I created the final product. Another project with Dreams, yeah, as you can see, I animated a character and then with the same layer blend, I could create the reflection in the water. And then you see the camera pan and perspective that could create a scene that seems like it's real and it's just a cartoon, but it's as simple as that. So when people ask me where to start, what to do, I would say think of your personal work and project as an investment. I'm so sorry if you can hear the scream, but I cannot do anything about it. And it's a way to promote your abilities, your art, and it's if you care about yourself and your personal projects and your art, everybody else will. And if you don't know where to start from somewhere silly. Start from where you cannot fail, you know. It's just something fun and just yeah, have fun with the software. Create a small challenges for yourself, like just a drop from a leaf or just a tree frame waterfall or just something simple, you know. And little by little, when you get more familiar with the app, you can plan bigger and bigger. And if you want your work to be more seen and social media follow the trends, a lot of people do this for their businesses, especially entertainment industry, like games and streaming services. You get a better chance to be seen by the people, like not only artists, but everyone, or create some relatable moments of, for example, here my kid wouldn't go to sleep and I didn't know which blink is the last blink. So when I did it, I got a lot of feedback that a lot of people have the same sort of experience, and that's how you connect with your community. So that's it. Procreate is my favorite app to use and Dreams to create, and because I could be just sitting there and having my own little studio in my iPad and create, and then I have no excuse to not to. So I hope you enjoyed this presentation. If you have any question, please let me know in the comments. I also have the link to my website here, which you can book a one-on-one session with me. If you want to explore more what's possible for you to create your projects, please go ahead, and thank you for your time. Let me know what you think. Ciao.